Nigeria. As always, TVC has got a finger on the pulse and our eyes constantly on the streets, and we do our best on a daily basis to bring you trending stories from across the globe and Nigeria in order to dissect them as best we can. In our first submission, the West African Examinations Council, WAEC, appeared before the House of Representatives following national outrage over the botched conduct of the 2025 English exam on the 28th of May. Nigerians were stunned when videos surfaced of students writing their papers in the dark after question papers arrived several hours late. Now, while addressing the House Committee on Basic Education, WAEC's head of national office, Dr. Amos Dangote, blamed the chaos on exam leakages, logistical failures, and last-minute compromises discovered just days before the test. He also issued an explanation, but the committee did not mince their words or questions in grilling him. Take a look at the exchange.
You have more than one country, 2, 3, 4 countries, and it's only in Nigeria that they had to write the exams by 11 p.m. So other countries did very well in managing their logistics. In Nigeria, we failed.
At what point did you realize that the machine was working 50%, very close to the examination, or which year did you notice that?
You have exposed Nigeria to the level that people are laughing at us. Is it this a sabotage against the government? I am not part of APC government.
Are you going to affirm those examinations written in those conditions?
This redress attempted by Parliament and indeed the committee that they put in place might not be enough to appease everyone. A Lagos-based lawyer, Evans Ufeli, has now filed a lawsuit against WAEC and the Ministry of Education, demanding 100 billion naira in damages for what he called a gross violation of students' rights and dignity. The case describes the conduct of the May 28th exam as unlawful, inhumane, and constitutionally defective. I honestly enjoyed watching the Committee on Basic Education grill the head of WAEC. This is parliamentary and taxpayers' funds that are going into this exam, and so they're going to WAEC. So we need more than explanations. We need tangible solutions. They urge the head of WAEC to put in robust contingency plans so that this sort of thing does not happen again, and to also ensure public confidence in the examination. WAEC is indeed a rite of passage. But it appears that it's not just WAEC that's under fire. Our entire education system seems to be on shaky ground. A video currently making the rounds online paints a troubling picture. Young Nigerian students struggling to pronounce the most basic English words. Now, this clip has, of course, sparked outrage and concern, and many are saying that it's a wake-up call to fix the foundation of Nigeria's education system and not just our official examinations. Take a look.
Willy. 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 Walai. 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 Wicked. Will. Well. Will. Wild. Fallis. Alitanite. Anikement. Anisiment. Ankenit. Ankenet. Ankemite. Announcement. 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 Dynamic. Doom. Drums. Drums. Their names. Their names. Don't leave me. Don't leave me. Don't leave me. Don't leave me. Do leave me. Do leave me. Do not miss.
As the nation reels from WAEC's recent examination mishap, this viral moment, of course, brings forth a broader question. Are we failing our children long before they even reach the exam halls? Let's take a look at social media. @Dude says, this is milking the ignorance of these children for social media impressions. You are not teaching them, you are shaming them. Spend 10 minutes to teach them and see the percentage of mispronunciations. We'll take another tweet. Area Boy says, it's not a laughing matter. Something is fundamentally wrong. Team, I have to say that while this was funny, the children's submissions, it does raise a broader questions. We're talking about JAMB and examination councils failing students. But even at the primary level, it seems that our education is on shaky ground. You have young children who couldn't pronounce the word while. This is scary.
Oh boy. In those days, at that age, children will read a whole passage fluently. And now it's as if in Nigeria we are retrogressing. The same thing that happened with WAEC getting people to sit exams at night. WAEC is something that happens every year. How come this year it has to be at night? And how come children at that age, they should be in primary 3, primary 4, thereabout, cannot read, not just pronunciation, they couldn't read those words written on the paper. It's such a shame.
Right. First of all, I want to address the person who did that video. I think she's exploiting these children. What she should have done was to have a classroom for them and teach them if she felt they were not pronouncing those words right, because to me it seems arranged. A particular lady in their midst was able to pronounce all the words, almost all the words right. So how were they able to do that? Did she search for them to be able to differentiate who is who and all of that? I don't know what she was doing, but yes, we have a fundamental issue in our education, especially at the primary level, and there's a lot that needs to be done, be you in the city or in the village. We know the state of schools right now. Do we have the qualified teachers to teach these children as they should know? These are fundamental questions, and it's sad, really sad for me. For WAEC, they have said they had logistical challenges and all of it. I hope we get to the root of the matter and hold people to account.
And definitely talking about accountability, I don't see any reason why WAEC will let students write exam in the night and there was no light. I've been talking about the fact that people were using their phones to write, and that just shows that exam malpractice happened, because once you have your phone, there's nothing you cannot Google. And talking about the children, it is very sad. And I tell people everything is not content. What I'm seeing there is somebody trying to do content for people to laugh, and that is not a funny video. Because Olamide, I tell you what, at that age, I'm not even trying to blow my horns. I was able to read. I could read, I could spell, I could pronounce most of the words. If these are the children and these are the future of tomorrow, then there's a stage for us to worry. I just think, and I feel like it's high time that we take our education serious. Education is very pivotal in every sector, in every country. Education is very important, and I think it's high time we take it seriously. If it's time to declare a state of emergency on education, so be it. But I didn't find that video funny. If they brought it out for content purposes, it's not funny, and those children need to be able to pronounce properly. They are of age. If they can sing the songs on TikTok, why can't they pronounce words correctly? Yes,
I'm not happy because WAEC failed us, JAM failed us just recently, and in fact, the respondent, one of the officials of WAEC, saying that Nigeria, happened to be the most affected. It shouldn't be like that. We giant of Africa, for crying out loud. How can we, within the ECOWAS region, we're not able to, West African region rather, we are not able to excel beyond or more than every other counterpart? It is not really good. But this other video of a lady, asking the young guys to pronounce words and all of that, I think something is fundamentally wrong. As one of the tweets had said, we need to do a whole lot in terms of our educational system. But I have a problem. I'm not really sad because they were not able to pronounce the English words. If it were their mother tongue that was written for them to pronounce and they were not able to pronounce it, I think I'll feel much more bad, worse than the way.
Ibrahim, are you presenting English
hold on,
Olamide.
Sorry, hold on, Olamide. English is our lingua franca, yes. But I feel when we speak, even as we speak on this table, we think in our mother tongue and vocalize the English aspect of it. That's why sometimes we have the Nigerian English, we have the Australian English, Indian English, etc. So one thing we need to do, that's why China is progressing. They teach their children in their mother tongue, in their own local language, and they're able to internalize. Yes, they are not able to pronounce words. We need to do a whole lot, but we should also emphasize on how we understand, read and write our own language so that we're able to preserve it culturally and we're able to internalize and understand what is being taught in school.
But Ibrahim, I beg to differ, because I can put it to you that it's possible that you put it in the language you're talking about, and they still cannot read it. No,
you didn't get me. You didn't get me. I'm not saying that not being able to read English is the problem. I'm saying that if it were their mother tongue and they're not able to read it, then I'll be much more disappointed. I'm only emphasizing on the need of inculcating, imparting knowledge, using mother language. Yes, English is our lingua franca, but should not be a yardstick for intelligence.
Okay.
Ibrahim, I put it to there. You are currently presenting in English, but I do understand.
It's a tool of the trade.
I do understand your submission.
I'm not against English.
With Maria and Veronica, I will have to beg to differ. This woman is engaging her community in ways that indeed a lot of people do not do. And so if she's making content out of it, that's fine. But science has actually shown that the best way to cognitively engage a child is through play and education like
that's not how you don't put children like that on the air, on social media.
What was she giving them when they get it right? Look at the small biscuit. Olamide, let me tell you, if they were getting it right and she was giving them a pen and a paper or something, it would be better. She was giving them biscuits.
Okay.
So I don't, it doesn't
Thank you very much, team. Moving on, the federal government has issued a warning to popular Abuja-based car dealer Alamin Sarkin Mota over his recurring jabs at Nigerian civil servants, particularly in advert videos showcasing luxury vehicles that many public workers can't afford. Now, in a letter signed by the Director General of the National Orientation Agency, Lanre Issa-Onilu, the agency expressed concern over a recent promotional video in which Sarkin Mota flaunted a 2023 Mercedes-Benz C300 with AI features while taunting civil servants for being unable to purchase such cars. Take a look.
Mercedes-Benz C300. And my brother.
Well, in the video, essentially, in the video that did not play, he basically asked this AI feature in the Mercedes-Benz. He said, "Can civil servants afford you?" To which the car replied, "No, they cannot, maybe in 2026. Well, a part of the statement that the National Orientation Agency put out said, "At a time when Nigerians are facing intense social and economic pressure, and in a society where get-rich-quick attitudes are already being glorified over the dignity of labor, it is dangerous to speak about civil servants in such condescending terms." Now, team, I hate to say it, but the sentiment and the public perception of civil service, it is the antithesis of luxury. It is the opposite of luxury and a life well lived. My mother served as a public servant for 30 years, and it's a shame that this is the public perception of mockery that a lot of young people have towards the profession.
Yeah, because when you think about the civil servants, you think about their salary, and that's it. And the average civil servant really can't afford any kind of luxury. We're talking about a minimum wage of 70,000 naira for federal civil servants. What about the state civil servants? You know, and that means the minimum wage can't even buy one full bag of rice. Not to talk. Look, once you talk about civil servants, you're thinking of very small salaries, so luxury cars and all that. They do not come side by side.
But I think what he's doing is totally wrong. Why? What are you trying to teach, or what are you trying to prove? He's an influencer who has a lot of persons following him, and his traction could just influence certain people to start doing the wrong things so they can belong and be able to acquire these kinds of luxury. So they are not taunted and they are not classed as those who do not belong to his, perhaps those who can be his clientele at the end of the day. Is totally wrong. And I like the fact that we are seeing the orientation agency coming down hard on him. I hope they call him to question and perhaps begin to look at how they can minimize these kinds of content on social media. That is the essence of that law that government intended to pass at a time that generated a lot of reactions. These kinds of people need to face the law.
And I tell you something, Olamide, I've seen a lot of his videos on TikTok. He's trying to sell his cars in any way he can, but I think that it is very wrong. And I'm saying, he knows his clients. I don't want to say who his clients are, but he knows who buys cars for him. So I feel like that's why he comes out and says these things. But I don't think it's the best. I think that it's a way of putting pressure on a lot of young people. Because, Olamide, if you read the comments under his TikTok, because I see him a lot on TikTok, you know, you see the comments like people, God when, oh God this, God that. And I'm like, the guy is just trying to sell his cars and he's using every means. He doesn't care what he's doing in society. He just wants to sell his cars. And he has his target audience.
Yeah.
Yes, that's an aspect of consumerism that we've seen. If we ever taken a course, advertising principle and practice, there is a way you communicate your language. There's a way you sell, you market, products to people, not by, using superlatives. That's why even you can't find on TV or anywhere on radio, you seeing a company or a product saying that is the best or is number one. It's against the practice. But that is it. Social media, everyone goes there and put a lot of nonsense there. That's why we need to regulate the social media as much as we can.
Absolutely. All right. Thank you, Olamide, for those interesting stories. We have to wrap up the conversation here now. But we must let you know that the views and reaction of all our resource persons are theirs and have no connection with TVC News. Up next is Your View with the Ladies, and afterwards is This Morning with Yori Folari. Do stay safe. Bye.